Hello, and welcome to the Flourish from Within interview series, where I, Lauren Ashley, get together with incredible women in the field to really bring you the best tips and tricks to increase your health, your happiness, your energy, so that you can live a life of full intention and purpose and create more impact in the world. Today, we are here with Iva from Iva Tarle Coaching. She is a life coach and business mentor. And today we are talking all things listening to the body's wisdom. So I'm super excited for this conversation. How are you, Iva?
Hi, Lauren. Nice to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome.
I'm doing okay. I hope you're doing okay as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You were just sharing with me about your necklace. Can you tell us a bit of that story behind your necklace?
Yes, so I've been on a very interesting journey in my life where I spent the last 6 years on Bali. So
Mhm.
these necklaces are from Bali. These are from my favorite beach. I collected them on the beach and I created them into these necklaces. And these are like the shells that were washed on the shore by the sand and the sea. I really love them because I feel they give me this raw power from the ocean and the beach and the beautiful blue skies of Bali and the wind.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's almost a sense of grounding that I feel from them too.
Yeah. And then later on, I found a friend of mine he works with the nature. He's an artist that does landscaping. So he creates beautiful sculptures from the natural materials, and so he works with straw. He works with ice in the winter, and also he works with the sand during the summertime. And I
Oh,
found, so, yeah, so the whole idea is about how to protect the environment and how to work together with the beautiful nature around us. And he had some amazing, very similar beads like this that he bought in Sri Lanka,
wow.
which were like super traditional and made by some tribe. So it feels kind of cool that I kind of got that tribal vibe by by myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's so incredible. And I really love that connection to like the environment too and to nature. It's so important.
It is because we are actually a part of nature. Essentially,
Mhm.
we are such a big part of nature. I think one of the biggest problems of the modern time and modern world is that people are so closed in inside their apartments, their houses, behind the walls, and not they don't communicate so much with the nature as much as they would. That would be the best for them, actually. And this is was one thing that I really discovered during my journey on Bali. Because living on Bali is an open living, meaning that we have like you open your bedroom door and you have a garden, you have like an open bathroom, open kitchen, everything is really. And this connection with the nature is so amazing. It gives us so much strength. It gave me so much of personal power, freedom, kind of clarity on whatever I'm doing, and also this amazing health. When we're closed in, under all these ACs and under all these um, influence from the phones, from the computers, all this technology, everything, our poor bodies are really struggling,
Mhm.
because our natural environment is to be outdoors.
Yeah,
And it's incredible. And I haven't been sick like in the past 6 years, almost ever, never get a
wow.
cold, nothing, because it's like, yeah.
Because you're so
So
connected to nature.
I think it really changes a lot.
Hmm.
This daily connection with nature changes so much, I think, for our bodies and for our mind, the clarity, the freedom, the connection, the belonging, just like it's a natural habitat. I think people have forgotten that in these crazy cities, busy cities, always buying, shopping, always driving a car, driving in public transport, or it's not natural. And
Mhm.
I don't feel it's natural anymore for me. I've been in Croatia for the past couple of months, and I have to say that I've been really kind of putting extra effort to get back to used to being in civilization, whatever that civilization means. So yeah, I feel much more connected when I'm in nature. I feel I can meditate much easier. That I can, yeah, when I'm outdoors as opposed to being inside. Yeah.
Yeah, I so agree with you. I love to go outside and meditate on. I just have a little balcony, but I feel more connected than when I'm indoors trying to do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should all kind of forget. We should all forget the buildings in the cities and kind of go out in the nature more often, at least on the
Yes.
weekends or any possible time, just to kind of step out, breathe, ground, put your feet on the ground.
hmm I love that. Well, I'm so excited to get into the topic, even just after what we've just talked about. So, why don't you tell us? You spent a number of years in Bali. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do as a coach?
Okay. Yes. So one of my main subjects is I work with spiritually talented people, star seeds. So whoever feels that has a spiritual talent, whether he's an empath, whether he's a psychic, a coachling, so somebody who wants to become a coach, or a healer, any kind of body worker, massage therapist, sound therapist, you name it. There's so many people out there who have these gifts. And what I do, I help them get clarity on their purpose and help them to define strategy, how to get themselves out there and how to serve with their talents to the world around them. So this is one of the things that I do. And I also work with morning rituals. I teach people how to adopt positive morning habits that help us to manifest the life that we want. So morning rituals are a very hot topic in the
Mm,
past couple of years, and a lot of the very famous and popular and super successful people do it because they really bring so much strength and self-guidance, self-empowerment, and manifestation into the everyday life. So people like Oprah Winfrey, people like Mark Zuckerberg, of course, Tony Robbins, and all the big coaches, even actors, actresses. Lady Gaga is doing morning rituals. If you if you don't believe me, Google it. So yeah, so these are some really empowering things that we can do with ourselves, with our own bodies, that can bring us to more happiness, more fulfillment, and the life that we want to
I
create.
love that. Do you want to share with us what you did this morning for your morning ritual?
Sure. Yes, of course. I wake up naturally. This is something that happens if you continue to do morning rituals daily. If you develop it into a practice, you need about 20, 30 to 60 days. And also, if you are connected with the natural cycles, your body will start to wake up by itself when the sun rises. And also, you will start to feel tired when the sun goes down. I'm sure a lot of the people have similar experience about that. So I woke up around 6:30, and the first thing that I do is I play a meditation on a YouTube. There's so many resources out there. They're quite simple to access. And I did a meditation, and then I was reading some of my affirmations that I have written in my cute little diary. You get to see this
Oh, I love that.
shining, sparkly pink. And also, I wrote a little bit of journaling, very short, brief ones, which are based on Tim Ferriss's and Marcia Miatke's instructions on how to do morning rituals. So basically, three things you are grateful for, three things you appreciate, three things you'll do today which are aligned with your values and your passion, one thing you will do today that will fill your cup, So basically, it's always important, besides kind of doing the things that we want to do and to express gratefulness, it's also important to kind of do something fun to make our bodies and our mind relax and to be happy, right? We can't really function if we're stressed.
Yeah, totally. And I find that we're in these times, anyways, I think we're doing more things that make us unhappy than things that make us do happy. So it's so key to come back to that.
What do you mean we don't do things that make us happy? In which way?
Well, a lot of the time we are, going to work a job that stresses us out, and then we come home and we feel like we're forced to cook or do this or do that. And I think we often forget to to do those things that we really love, to do the things that really make us happy, to do the things that refill our cups, right?
Yeah, I think it's really important, because if we're feeling low and really stressed out, we can't produce the best. We can't really give any kind of results, either in our work or in our personal lives with other people, in our relationships either. Like last night, an example for me, I was working until late. I visited my parents and had dinner with them. Then I continued working. And at one point I was like, oh, like I was being productive, but at one point, like my body was screaming, like, oh, I need to do something fun. And then luckily a friend of mine sent me a message. She's like, hey, let's go have a drink. I'm like, yes. So I did, and I was so happy that I did, because it really changed my energy. I got to relax and replenish and kind of be able to start a new day the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah, I love that. It's so important to recognize that and to be mindful of it because often we've become so disconnected, and that's what we'll get into a little bit more about listening to your body's wisdom. We've become so disconnected that it's very easy for us to not recognize, like you did, when you need to change your energy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, how I'm so interested to hear how you got to this point in your life. How you like, did you always have this deeper connection with your body, or how did this all come about?
Well, that's quite an interesting question. So I'll just touch upon something from my childhood about connection with my body, and then I'll tell you about my story, how I ended up where I am now, and how I ended up living in Bali and why. I always felt really strongly my whole body, like I could always really feel what's going on in my body. Like I always knew, like sometimes you have pain, and then doctors or your parents, they ask you, so where's the pain? And then sometimes people are like, I don't know where the pain is. It's somewhere, right? And somehow, ever since I was a kid, I always had this really sharp understanding of, like, parts of my body, what's going on. Oh, I have a sharp pain in my head, or I have a pain in my right knee, or in my stomach. Is it stomach? Is it an ovary? Whatever. So I always had this really kind of very sharpened sense of what's going on in my body. I don't know if that's something to do with being an empath or or not, but it was always present. So going back to how I ended up where I am, it's an interesting story. I was a diplomat. So around 8 years ago, I was a diplomat for Republic of Croatia in Jakarta. So basically, diplomats are sent by a country to help they're sent to another country so that they can help uh, mm, Croatians, in my case, that live or travel or get into some kind of problems in that country, right? So basically, it's a very kind of responsible, serious job. It's also considered to be like a career, kind of a top of the career. If you're a diplomat, you really have to kind of study hard. You have to study, I don't know, international relations. You have to know a few languages, and you have to push your way through the corporate ladder
Mm.
of the foreign service. And this is what I did. I was 33. It sounded, like I was the queen of the universe, like I was a diplomat. I was in Jakarta. I was in Indonesia. I had a great apartment. I had like a great package with a paid ticket back home once a year, and everything. My own driver and the car, and these kind of fancy things. A fancy
Wow.
life, 5-star life. Hanging out with other people, other diplomats from other countries. My best friend was from Switzerland, and then from all over the world. Our days were like spent in hotels, drinking cocktails, and s- talking and talking to each other, and kind of trying to create some kind of collaborations between countries, etc. I wasn't. The point is that I really wasn't. I wasn't happy. It was something that on the outside, it looked like I was totally like, that I made it, only at the age of 33, that I had it all. But inside, I was actually really unhappy. I was miserable. I was in pain. My whole life was really breaking apart. Why? Because I felt I wasn't living according to my values. I just realized that this environment where I was working has nothing to do with who I really am, that I'm totally wasting my life, that I'm wasting my talents, that I don't know, it was this really strong breaking point. It was in 2011. And it was really impossible to ignore. I was crying. I was like, working with clients, or writing emails, and having people talking on the phone, and in between I was crying because I just couldn't stand this anymore. So just meaning that, this desire of me, of my life, of who I was, of my soul, to like break free, to break through all this external conditioning and external kind of success. And yeah, so basically at one point I was just kind of tapping myself on the shoulder. I was singing during those really hard times, and I was envisioning, like, okay, what do you want to do? What would make you happy? Come on, let's focus on that. Let's focus on the positive side. And I had this vision of really wanting to work with art and environment. This was like my light at the end of the tunnel at those times. And luckily, just as it happens, when we most need it, the universe was there, and I got the letter from the foreign service that they're not going to continue my contract anymore after 1 year, and that I should return back home to Zagreb, and get another position. I was offered a position in China, etc. So even though it was quite a shock for me initially, I was so relieved. I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe that, that this was something that universe sent me to kind of really, really release me of this, because I really couldn't tolerate, like I couldn't do it anymore. And so at the time, my partner, who I was with, he got a job in Bali. He was also working with me in Jakarta. So he got a job in Bali, and I just made a big leap. I just made a decision. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I did. I quit my job as a diplomat, and I moved to Bali, and started thinking what I'm gonna do there, and how I'm gonna change my life and find a job, etc., and getting used to the new environment of the being on tropical island. Finding friends, looking for friends,
Hmm.
how it is when you move to a new place. And basically, and the first thing that I did after 1 month, you wouldn't believe, but it's synchronicity. So, yes, we should believe, definitely, because our spirit is always guiding us. It's always telling us what to do next if you ask inside. I got the job as to work on a public relation campaign for an artist that was building underwater sculptures to protect the oceans. So
Wow.
basically, that the vision of mine, that I really wanted to go and work for the art and environment. So it was incredible. It was maybe after 1 or 2 months that I was on Bali. I was going to these networking events, business networking events, and there was a lady. She was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for somebody to do the public relation campaign." And yes, and I was just like, I can't believe it. It's like, my God. So yeah, I did it. I worked on that campaign. It was quite amazing. We got a lot of funding. We got into all the newspapers. We organized some training events and some exhibitions in the local malls where we had like a beautiful sculptures displayed from the underwater photographers, but we also had displayed some really horrible scenes of bombing the ocean floor, etc., which also happens, and why actually this artist was doing the whole campaign of protecting the
Wow.
oceans. So yeah, it was great. And after that, I started to organize retreats on Bali, because this was event management. Event management and public relations was something that I was doing for many years for the government, and before that for NGOs, etc. And on that journey, I met a lot of coaches. I worked with a lot of coaches, and when I saw who was training, she had an NLP session. It was in
Mm.
2014. She was sitting there in front of all these people. There were like 20 people, going through all these beautiful transformations. It was very nice. And I was just like, oh my God, I want to do this. This is this is what I want to be. This is who I want to become. I want to share. I want to help people So yeah. And yeah, and then I stayed on Bali for the next altogether 6 years.
That's so incredible. And what a great example of listening into your body's wisdom, right? We'll get into a little bit more in the, I think, in the next question, but it sounds like you are always tapping into what your spirit wanted. So not necessarily the body, but your spirit, right?
Yes. I think at the end of the day, we all feel it all the time. It's just a matter of, whether we listen to it or whether we resist it. If we resist it, there are a lot of complications, diseases, problems, right? That can come up. And if we listen to it, then we can be much more, if you want, efficient. we can live life in a much more easier way, right? If we have a
Mhm.
guidance, why not listen to this inner guidance if it's available?
So, can you tell us a little bit about what listening to your body's wisdom means?
Well, listening to the body's wisdom is, as I gave example from my own journey, when I was on a very important breaking point in my life, right? So it was on the level of the pain that I was feeling, right? So it was like a combination. But listening to our bodies can be also we can train ourselves to do it much more easier, not to wait until things boil up, not to wait until we're our steam is getting out of our ears, right? But to kind of to train to listen to ourselves from within, and to be able to work with it in an easy way. So one of the ways how to do it is to actually to do the morning rituals. So basically to do positive habits, to train ourselves to calm the mind with meditation, to listen. When we calm our mind, we're able to tune in to within, to the deep within, to our spirit, right? And the fact is that we just know things. We know everything inside. So it's just a matter of calming that mind, that the monkey mind. You probably heard that expression before. That is always driving us to do this, always in the future. What have I? I need to do this. I haven't done this. Checklist, whatnot. Anxieties. Am I good enough? Am I going to succeed? Oh my God! All these things that is happening in our heads, in our daily life. So that's number one. So calm the mind. Then secondly, by doing this regularly and by doing this when we wake up, it's incredible how when we wake up, we're actually this beautiful bowl of manifesting energy. We're pure, right? We, because we connected during our sleep, we connected with our higher selves. We totally refreshed our bodies, we refreshed our mind, and we're pure. So it's the best time of the day to work with this energy and to program what we want for that day or what we want for that month for ourselves, right? So we program by writing affirmations or saying affirmations to ourselves, which help us manifest what we want. Also, by being grateful on a daily basis, by thinking of three simple things, what we can be grateful of every day. We also tap into this field of abundance, and we understand that we already have so much. So by knowing that we already have so much abundance, that we can attract more. This is something that Oprah says, if we're going to focus on what we don't have, this is what we're going to get. But if we focus on what we already have, that's how we grow this abundance. And the abundance can be in some from some simple things. I'm really happy for my health. I'm happy for my for I don't know, being able to wake up every morning and do my yoga, or just being happy to do what I do, or being happy to breathe, or being happy to have a great partner, to have a good job. Just some simple things. I'm happy for my children's laughter, or my mother's cooked meal that I had last night. Just these simple things. When we practice bringing these things to our awareness daily, we really create that abundance in our life more and more. Um, Also, grounding is very important in this process of listening to our bodies. And then this is something that Lauren also works with in her programs. So grounding in the sense of that, besides meditation, we need to understand that we are not only in our mind, right? That we have a beautiful body that we need to take care of, that takes care of us, that carries us around, that right, that walks us, um, that nourishes us, that gives us energy, that does what we want. So grounding is a great thing to do on a daily basis, to stand on your 2 feet, on the ground, on the grass, or I don't know, on your floor in your apartment, wherever you can, and just connect to the body. Just breathe deeply, understand that you're inside the body. Be grateful that you have a beautiful, healthy body, that you do. Also, and to do physical exercise. So whatever, you can always find 15 minutes to either walk and swim, to do a bit of yoga, a bit of stretching, whatever you can, just to move that energy through the body. Because we sit a lot, because we during our daily lives, in the car, in front of the computer, at work, watching TV, I don't know, all these things. So it's really to move that body on a daily basis, and tap into that wisdom.
I really love the part. I never thought of it this way about when you wake up, it's the best time because you've connected to your higher self in your sleep. But the problem, I think, is that we've become habituated to checking our phones the first thing when we get up, right?
Yes, that's something that Mel Robbins, I don't know if you've probably all heard about Mel Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
She says, get rid of the phone. That's like, in the morning, definitely something that the morning rituals are not allowing is whoever that you can hear that does morning rituals or does the training about any type of meditation, etc., in the morning, they will tell you leave whatever you have to do for that day aside.
Mm-hmm.
So try practicing. I know it's exciting. I know it's like, it's fun. Oh, I want to check my Instagram. I want to see who did what. Oh, what's happening on Facebook. What's that with the emails. But at the same time, so it's luring, but at the same time, it really takes us away from that beautiful, the potential that is there in the morning. So that we can do so much with, right? So instead of like peeking into other people's lives, and like, oh, this guy's, oh, he has such a nice he's having such a nice vacation somewhere, really nice new car. Oh, whatever's going on in your mind when you see these other people's posts, or just getting annoyed by somebody's email that you received, for example, right? Early in the morning, we just distract ourselves. So the point is to leave that. People will survive. They survived for the past 8 hours of your sleep, or 10 hours of your sleep. They will survive for another half hour of your morning ritual. So yes, definitely no social media, no engaging. So first engage with yourself. This is the very important part of morning rituals, because you just wasted, right? You wasted energy. You waste it on some trivial things that you will get back to after, full of, full of your inner potential, like really high vibing, like a Superman. You can just go through it really, really fast and easy. It's a bit of a, I say you can use the phone to do the YouTube, right? So you can use it if you're gonna listen to some recorded meditations on YouTube, but try to avoid peeking into the other things.
Hmm. Which can be so challenging for people. I struggled with that myself just a couple months ago. I noticed every morning I would wake up and check my phone. Um, and then I would try to get into my meditation after, and it just was not working for me. So, and it's habitual, right? It's become a habit for so many people. So, do you have tips for how someone can break that habit?
And you probably know you train. So when you train, tell us, for example, what kind of training do you do?
So I do like yoga, for example. I do a lot of walking. I don't really lift weights anymore. I used to, and I'll do some cardio every now and again, but it's mostly yoga and walking lately. I like to do what my body feels called to do.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Mhm.
That's the way it should be, definitely. Like feeling that body wisdom that we were talking about today. So I'm just trying to make a point. So for example, when you were doing cardio, right? When we run or any other exercise that we do, we have to make some kind of a we have to have a goal, right? We're having a goal, either it's like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, or you want to reach a certain mileage, right? So there's some kind of a goal that we're doing when we're doing cardio, right?
Hmm.
So and then it's at one point, I'm just using this exercise as an example. So at one point, while we're running on the treadmill, we're like really kind of like, oh, I just can't, right? We have this moment of like, oh, I want to give up, right? I can't, it's like too much. But this is exactly the point where we have the choice to give up, or to just give that little bit more, just give that little bit extra, right? Just
Yeah,
make that little step, just little step. So this is it. This is exactly what it is, So just like catch yourself. I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at my Instagram. I'm looking at my Facebook. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do it. So like, just like intentionally not doing it. And again, you can turn that into a habit too by intentionally not doing it, right?
hmm
That's a habit too. Think about how much more powerful, how much more productive, how much more amazing your day will be if you make that little step, and if you go and click meditate, just play something on YouTube to meditate. How much more, yeah, and how much more can you get done, and how much more can like, and be free after. So that's why they say the discipline. I have discipline so that I can have freedom. So these morning rituals, they are a type of a discipline that we develop with ourselves, and at the same time, they make it easier for us to be free, to be freer, right? Freer from the thoughts. I'm not anxious. Oh my God, I can enjoy my day. I'm great. I did all the things that I wanted to do. I'm not stressed out. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. Something that I've found rather than using YouTube, because I find as soon as I get onto social media, then I get distracted. I use this app. It's called Insight Timer. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's
Mhm.
free. So there's a ton of meditation apps that you need to pay for, but this Insight Timer is free, and you can either go with a guided meditation or go on your own, and it tracks every time you do a meditation. So I really love that.
That's great too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great too. I think it's really important what you said earlier that when you do exercise that you're really looking for things that suit you, that suit your energy, that suit your mood at the time,
Mhm.
right? I think that's also important in also when you're looking for meditations, when you're looking for these things, including exercise, including this grounding part, that we do what our body needs and wants. You know, a lot of my clients, they were like, "Oh, I just can't. I can't exercise in the morning. I can't." And then many times we realize that it's because they have this concept of what this exercise should be like, right? And
Mhm.
they don't feel good when they're doing it. So it's not about forcing, it's about finding the way that you enjoy, right? There are some people, you know, I don't know, you're having a period and you just want a soft flow in the morning. You don't want to do something really hard because you're in pain. You don't want to, right? So kind of feeling that, understanding what your body needs. I just need some stretching. All right. Or I need to really breathe deeply and run. I need to energize my body because I'm feeling sluggish. So kind of listening to these cues from the body is very important. Another client of mine had a thing where she couldn't do yoga because she was an athlete. So for her, like yoga is too soft. She's like, do it for me. I need a boot camp. And there's nothing wrong with it, you know? Just kind of understanding what the body really wants and giving it to it. And I think that's the most amazing. Kind of working in partnership, right?
Yeah, totally. And especially with our bodies as women, our bodies, I find, need something different every day. It's forever changing, right? So being able to listen in and adapt and give it what it needs is so important too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really beautifully said. That's wonderful. I agree with it. Be the guide in a way. So guide the body. So be the kind of a step ahead in front, like having in mind what you want to achieve, you know, like that you're looking for achieving balance and health and feeling good in your body. So knowing when to not extra piece of cake or you know pushing yourself just to even though you're tired, but yeah, let's go do that walk on the beach, or let's for example, I love to dance. That's one of the ways that I ground myself. And So last Thursday I was super tired because of work and stuff. I got a lot of done, but I was like totally exhausted. But I made myself go, and I was just so happy that I did because I managed to relax there to so have a stronger mindset to make that extra step, to do that, to just push yourself just a little bit, and you get amazing results.
Mhm. Oh, I love that because so often we don't push ourselves far enough. We give up. We've been talking a lot about listening to your body's wisdom. What are the top areas that you think this, like developing internal or developing that connection to your body's wisdom, would help? Like, how would that help someone?
And at the end of the day, connecting to your inner body wisdom, the intuition, the inner guidance, calming the mind that we talked about earlier. At the end of the day, it actually gives us it's a great guiding light for us in our life. So it's also a guiding life in the sense of finding our purpose, because this is
Hmm.
something really important, and this is something that I work with my clients a lot. So getting clarity on what is our mission here, why are we here, what are we supposed to do in this life, right? It's very important. It's Viktor Frankl, one of the founders of logotherapy. He says that it's as important. It's the life is at stake. You know, it's not about leisure. It's not about anything superficial. That actually finding the purpose in life is like it can cost you your life, because it's basically we need to live our purpose, and we need to, because this is why we came here, to serve others with our purpose, with our beautiful gifts, with our unique gifts that each one of us has, and to discover it. And that's why tapping through in our body's wisdom through these techniques that I mentioned earlier, we can get more clarity, we can hear better, we can listen to ourselves better, listen to that inner guidance. I see a lot of women and men who are changing their careers radically, who are in their 30s, in their 40s, in their mid 20s as well, who are just experiencing this call to stop doing whatever they thought they were supposed to do, being engineers, being kind of whatever kind of their families or the upbringing taught us they have to do to be successful or to be secure in life, to and totally just diving into something completely different, something that they're called to do. So I see a lot of this happening, and I think it's very important to listen to that call and to help ourselves listen to that. And the more we do follow our purpose, the more happier we are, the more fulfilled we are, the more our life gets in a flow, the more we get into synchronicities, the easier we can get things that we want, right? The easier the money will come, the easier everything that we want will come if we're really connected to that purpose, because just the way that the energy works.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I love that. So, we've been talking a lot about tapping into that internal wisdom and some things that we can do in order to strengthen that connection with the body and our soul, which I love. Can you give our audience maybe one or two steps that they can take if they're beginners and they're not sure how to start and are just feeling a little bit overwhelmed? What can they do to start connecting to their body's wisdom?
I would definitely recommend that they start doing at least a little bit of meditation. As you said
Mm-hmm.
yourself, there are so many apps out there. There's so many beautiful, amazing recordings on YouTube. People are creating masterpieces. You just if you just go to YouTube and check a few of these meditations out and try them, you'll see it's incredible. So definitely try. So try meditating. Try doing any kind of focusing in the morning, and just you will see what how many benefits you will have after that. So there are different types of meditation. Just briefly, you can do mindfulness, just being present in your body, just focusing on the body and breathing, like being aware of your breath coming in and out. There are other types of guided meditations where you can just listen to affirmations. I'm great. I'm amazing. I'm a superhero, right? I can do this. So there's so many different ones. You can really pick and choose whatever you need. So that's one thing. Meditate. Another thing to get in touch with your purpose is to actually do what you love. So that's a really great way to guide yourself to your purpose. So understanding what you love to do, do you love to write? Do you love to draw? Do you love to dance? Do you love to, what is it that you love to do? Whatever it is, right? So thing that makes you really happy, whatever it is, however crazy or freaky, maybe it's driving your bike really fast, or anything. And then understanding, just being in that feeling, in that happiness, and understanding why do you like it so much, and practicing carrying more of these things that you love in your life. And this is a great path to discover these gifts. The best way that you know that you're connected to your purpose is when you feel amazing. You will feel happy, you'll feel uplifted. Also, if that's something that you do, if you love to help people, a lot of the empaths and the healers and the clients that I work with, they love helping others, they love giving to others, healing others. And if you get energy back, if you're not feeling exhausted.
I love those steps that people can take. Um, And I know you've got a bunch of resources on your website as well. I think you wrote a blog post about around journaling and how people can connect through journaling.
Hmm. Yeah, so journaling is also one part of these morning rituals or any ritual that is really helpful, that you dump your emotions, you dump all the stuff from your brain and you just get release and
Yeah.
get gone. Why are you having all these emotions and things? So yeah, that's really great. So that's one of the things that actually that I teach as a part of the morning rituals and as a part of my larger programs. Mhm.
Yeah, why don't you share? I know you have a program coming up and a challenge as well. So why don't you share with us a little bit about that? So if anyone's interested, they can take the next step.
Yes, I have created an amazing VIP support package, which helps people to get from a low self-confidence to serving others with their gifts. So in this thing, we learn about how to connect to your purpose, to get more clarity, and also we learn about the morning rituals, so to be able to get to be your own guidance in that process as well, to be able to calm yourselves, your mind and your emotions, etc. And also we work on the strategy how to get yourself out there, how to connect with the hubs around you to offer your services and to be more tenacious when it comes to your talents and your gifts. That's the program, which is going to start in January. And prior to that, in the last week of December, on the 25th, I have a 5-day challenge, Connect with Your Purpose. In this challenge, we're gonna practice connecting to the purpose, and we're gonna practice some of these amazing morning rituals as well in these 5 days. So if you're interested to take a little taster, I'll be ecstatic if you join.
That sounds so incredible, both the challenge and your program coming afterward. How exciting.
Thank you.
I'll put some of the links below so that our listeners can find some more resources.
Yeah, thank you for this beautiful opportunity,
You're so
Lauren.
welcome.
I'm really grateful, and I'm glad to be able to have this conversation with you. And I
Well,
hope
I know
that
I learned a lot, so thank you.
thank you so much. I hope it will help. I hope there'll be
Definitely.
some ears that
Yes.
needed these some of these things.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, thank you for sharing your purpose with us today, and we will chat soon.